9,100, 45 pounds as you see it here, and I specify that and I stress that because this is not the way that we would necessarily have one of these on the lot every single day. This is actually a customer's ordered 28.5 RSTS Jayco Eagle HT, but it's featuring a lot of new updates and revisions that I really wanted to get the word out there about. Generally speaking, the weight will be pretty close to that. It might clip under 9,100 without the second air conditioner that the folks have applied to this one, so kind of keep that in mind. So really, as we go, remember the one in stock could be different from here. That being said, though, it's pretty close. So this is a really neat counterpart sister to the 30.5 CKTS. The super slide and the kitchen slide are basically flip-flopped, but what that allows this one is an outside kitchen, so it sort of makes it like a baby version of the also popular 317 RLOK Big Eagle. So you kind of get to pick your own adventure, big, small, in between. If you want door side windows, they make that in the 30.5 CKTS. If you want the outside kitchen in a couple's rig, that would be this one right here. So let's step inside. And as is the case with a lot of things in life, something's best quality is also its worst liability. So the 28.5 RSTS, it's a little bit smaller than some other things like its big brother, the 30.5 CKTS. And that's neat. It's lighter weight, it's less money, it's shorter to tow and go, but that's also what's causing these opposing super slides in the island to kind of make it difficult to pretty much get to anything in here when the slides are closed. Now you can access a measure of the pantry space here. Of course the bedroom and bathroom are simple and easy to get to, but to try to pack up the fridge and whatnot, you're going to need to plan to do that or open a slide. Now one of the first things I want to point out in here is the decor. Eagles give you two very, very different decors. This is called Modern Farmhouse. It has a, the primary palette here is going to be a sort of off-white with these neat little accents, kind of inlaid into things to give it some depth and shape and character, with a very light fabric tone on your chairs and a light gray fabric tone on the remainder of your seating. This is very trendy in residential stuff right now, and if I sound kind of nasally, I'm sorry. At the time of this filming, I'm fighting some allergies, so if I'm coughing and sneezing as we go, my apologies. Good news is I'm not getting sick here in someone's camper and infecting them later. Case in point. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is there's this, which is the light decor, the Modern Farmhouse, and then there's the American Tradition, which is primarily going to be a mostly generic darker brown with, medium brown fabric accents. When we get another one of these in with that darker decor, I'll try to sweep through and just get some update footage so that hopefully people can see the one versus the other. But that's a big deal on these Eagles, because you're either going to love this or you're not, and there's not going to be a lot in between. The good news is that everything else you are going to love, like the standard 15,000 BTU main centralized air conditioner that is whisper ducted. So Nerdism number 37 says, if you pay, if you've been following along all these videos here, if you don't see the square, then you won't hear the air, basically, guys. And Jayco uses a helix ducting system, as they call it, which actually has superior airflow from non-whisper ducted units, so it does help. Now, another neat little thing here is these Eagles have dimmer switch lighting, and they have position memory on that lighting, so you can swell it up or down, which is really nice for night lights or movie time. You'll find the same thing going on above the dinette over there. There's several areas, actually, where you find that function happening. Now, these are wall-hugging theater recliners right here. Sometimes you can get an Eagle with recliners, like traditional rocking recliners. The theater seat directly across from the entertainment center, as you see it right here, is far and away the predominant force in couples' rear living fifth wheels currently, and I think for good reason, because it's a no-neck wrecker. You don't have to crank your neck around to be able to see it. Now, they have revised the entertainment center a little bit this year, and we're going to circle back on that, but you can see we still have the electric space heating fireplace. There's a little bit of a bonus drawer below that as well, because they did add an outside kitchen down behind it. So, one of the other neat things here, if we take a look, you see we've got a trifold sleeper sofa, but we've also got, again, that wall-hugging theater recliner, and with these, you might notice that the chair position nearest the dining area can still open for sleeping or function, as it were, which is kind of a very nice thing. So it's a couple's rig that can sleep 4 or 5 very easily. Pardon me, once again. Now, in the throughout this unit, what you're going to find are what's called thermofoil countertops. Whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's over here, it's a sealed edge pressed membrane. So let's say you have a cold drink sitting here and it condensates and it sweats. If it dribbles down here, you might need to, wipe off the front of the cabinet. Hopefully that's not the case, but it's not going to damage the countertop, which is also very nice if you just accidentally leave a window open overnight and it rains. Now, speaking of windows, I want to take a step back to point out the fact that you notice how every darn window in this opens for ventilation, including both the sofa and the seat side windows. And when you are, ready to kind of gain some privacy here, not only do we have heavily UV tinted windows, but you've also got near blackout, night shades that you can pull down on these. And when it comes to storage, they really utilize this thing in a lot of creative ways to maximize your total storage capacity. Now, what you're going to find here is a higher level of construction designed for longer term use and ownership. We've got all pocket screwed cabinet doors. You can see how they are self-strutted with metallic struts so they hold themselves open. And we've got hidden hinges throughout for a nice clean looking application. The other nice thing about hidden hinge cabinetry is it kind of wants to keep itself closed in transit. So when you are bouncing around the road where it's a bit of an earthquake, it will do its best to stay shut. Now, because you do have the outside kitchen behind the entertainment center, they couldn't utilize this space for one of my favorite phrases, the Pantry-tainment center. However, you are not hurting for pantry space in this one. Now, the little bonus drawer down here below the electric space heating fireplace, that's new at the time of this filming. That's a result of the rework that they did on this to include the outside kitchen, because last year it did not have that feature. Now, we've got a standard 8 cubic foot fridge freezer right here. And as we go around, you see just even the like simple things like a microwave and the stovetop, they're using some very sharp looking appliances here. And I do like that kitchen window there does open for airflow. Now, the stovetop is recessed. You can see the sealed edge counters here throughout the kitchen that I already mentioned. Below them you're going to always find maximum amounts of storage capacity. And I really think that in the modern farmhouse, the white decor, basically, if we call one white and one brown to make it simple, the little blue LED accent lights on that are going to do an excellent job of giving you another little night light if you have a grandkid over for the evening. Now, in the main kitchen slide, you don't see a main dedicated pantry, but this has more than enough pantry space for long-term use. You can really pack this sucker up. Now, one thing I like that they did up here, just to kind of break up the potential visual monotony, is they did put these smoky glass panels up there, and it gives it a very nice accent. That's one thing you're going to see throughout a lot of this Eagle, is a lot of very nice light, dark accents. Now, over here, you've got a dedicated pantry, and actually you can put some very big, tall stuff up there. That's going to be stuff you don't use every single day, and if I flip my hand around in here, you can see we've got motion sense lighting. And especially with the white wood tones, it makes it even brighter in there, so if stuff does kind of sneak its way back through the corner, it never feels like it's in your, like you can't lose anything. Now, this is really neat right here, because this is dual purpose. So you look at it, and you can easily see that this could be just a big giant coat closet, or like a folding broom closet, maybe like a little handheld Shark or vacuum or Dyson or something like that. But another thing you can do to really maximize your total storage potential is it does have a little flip down shelf right there to give you really the most possible dry storage that something this size could possibly offer. Another thing this one does very well is the island. If you look at the total square foot of it, compared to the length of the floor plan, it's actually extremely large and generous. It has a larger percentage of island square footage as compared to a lot of other things. Again, we have sealed edge countertops here. If you do what I call the ring test or the wedding ring test, you can tap on it and you can hear the difference between superior metallic fixtures and more common, less expensive plastic fixtures. Now, they do recess their stainless double sink here. Jayco does something a little different through a lot of their lines, but it really kind of started quite a bit in the Eagle series here. You have this Rollaway aluminum drying rack, but it works very well for good counter space. It does hold weight well. And this is a food grade bamboo sink cover right here, or cutting board as it were. So it's lightweight, but it is just incredibly strong, which is nice. And it does recess below the counter level, but not so far that it's going to be wonky if you need to set something on it. Now, to kind of finish up the island here, I love how they partition this, and it's a little dark in there, so hopefully you can see fairly well. But you can see they put shelving here, but they left as much wide open space as they possibly could, so very, very functional for those big like trash cans. And in case you're curious, like, what is this little pipe right there? Did they forget to hook something up? When you don't want to use this, you actually can roll this up and set it in that pipe so that it's, you know, out of the way. Now, what you'll find on all your drawers here, you may have noticed, like under the entertainment center, but they're all plywood boxed. They have hardwood cabinet door frames. They have sanded beveled edges on top, so you're not going to get, you know, a splinter factory, you know, out of your fingers here. Now, they do what I feel is the best freestanding table and chairs in this market segment. That's my opinion, but here's why I feel that way. This is a couple's rig first. Normally, you just need 2 chairs and a table, but maybe you're going to entertain. And this is a very good entertaining floor plan. Actually, my buddy Craig Morgan, who watches a lot of these videos here on YouTube, he likes to call this the conversation floor plan because he imagines, you know, he'd sit back here with some friends over here and have a little bit of a conversation. But you know what? Maybe you're going to sit down, play a hand of cards, you know, enjoy a meal together, share a drink or something like that. That's where this is going to take place. So that's why you have a pair of these fold-away guest chairs, as well as that long table extension leaf right there. And then you can see how the tabletop will hold itself up for what I call a dining desk. So for you work campers who are going to be doing a lot of work away from home, that is just another handy, easy feature. Or frankly, guys, you can keep some extra, like, dinnerware down there, like placemats and napkins, things like that. Heavily medicated, so the words are coming difficult right now. Again, case in point. Anyway, so it's a couple's rig that can very comfortably accommodate a couple or some guests if, you know, they do come over for the afternoon or evening or stay a weekend. Now, from there moving forward, it has the same bed bath upper deck as virtually any other Eagle HT. But on the way through, I do want to point out something. So you've got a hideaway control panel, which is nice. That's pretty normal. Your slides, your awning, water heater, etc. But you also have this handy little touchscreen remote right here. Usually the combination's 4 zeros and perfect. You can operate like your awning lighting, your power stabilizers, your front power landing gear, your slide outs. You can do all that right here. And what I think is cool about that, and I think this is so smart, is that's a big deep slide. If that slide opens up, you want to make sure that it doesn't hit anything if you're not real familiar with the surroundings of your campsite. If you camp in the same place every time and you know where your tires are going to be, that's fine. But if you are a traveler, which this is more of a traveler's floor plan than a park floor plan, although it could easily serve both purposes, it is nice to walk out there and make sure that you're not going to crush anything. Now, the other neat thing is, if I'm standing right here and I'm pushing the button to close the bedroom slide, I can't see that the bedroom slide is going to close unobstructed, that it won't crush anything. But with this remote, I can walk up there and I can look at it and I can say, hey, wait a minute, I left that drawer open or that cabinet door. I don't want to crush that. So there's some very cool benefits that go along with that. Now over here in the bathroom, it's an easy dual entry bathroom with lots of leg room and floor space. So if you're tall like me and you need extra room in front of the toilet, or you get out of the shower, you need extra room to put on a pair of pants without hitting your head and your knees on stuff, you got it. And also porcelain and foot flush. If I just repeated myself, I am sorry. Now, one of the things I like to point out here is all the extra little details, like the dinette. You've seen all the little details Eagle does with the dining area already. So right here, we've got a little blue LED nightlight. And during the day, it's not extremely impressive, but you can already see, even with the skylight and the light coming in from the power vent fan above me, how much it glows. So at night, it'll really make this room glow quite a bit. Now, you've also got what I like to call the backlit morning mirror. So if you're like me and you wake up and you've got zombie face, you know, I don't, like, I wake up, I flip on the lights and I'm like, you know, that zombie face. It's you get it. Anyway, it's nice to be able to use the bathroom at night without, like, you know, blinding yourself, waking your partner, anything like that. Now, that's not a small sink. It's a big sink. It's just an even bigger countertop. And again, it's still that sealed edge press membrane stuff. And this is the kind of extra attention to detail I like to point out on these. They don't use a nicer countertop in the kitchen and then scale down when you get to the upper deck. They do the same thing, the same way, every single time on the Eagle series here in the HTs, and that's something I really like and respect and appreciate out of them. And just to give you kind of another view here, once again, very ample legroom as we walk through here. Now, once again, this is a customer's purchased, pre-ordered, sold unit. They specially built this with a second air conditioner installed in the bedroom. If you do that, it is centralized from Jayco. It ties into the whole central ducting system to give you, and what's cool is this is also a 15,000 BTU air. So this has dual 15K airs and a 0 to 100 degree rated package. So it has the same insulation guarantees and the same total air conditioning power as a 45-foot 6-slide Jayco Pinnacle. You could turn this thing into a meat locker if you want to. Now, it's not hard to get these things made 50 amp and second air ready. I think how you're going to typically find this, especially here in the Midwest, and how we would normally expect to equip it here at Haylet RV, is to be maybe second air ready and have the heavy thermal package that's already standard and present on the Eagles taking care of you. We found that that's more than enough for most folks around here. However, I am always open to feedback on this. Something I'd really appreciate if you could leave us some comments in the video description or anything like that, or down below. I would love to know 1 air or 2 air, and please tell me where you live, because I think I'm very curious. I want to start tracking that a little bit. Now, once again, for privacy, we've got these nice pull-down blackout night shades. So if you sleep on maybe irregular hours or any sort of light messes with you, or you've got that one annoying neighbor who leaves their like nose cap lights on or their side scare light on when you're trying to sleep, this can really block a lot of that out. Pardon me. I am sorry about the constant coughing. Now, another thing I didn't point out in the living room, but once again, they don't scale down upstairs, is they fully frame out all of their door and window cuts. Pretty much in any Jayco product, even a J-Flight SLX. And I really think it gives those pleated nightshades something solid to bite into. Now, I want to draw your attention down, because if you look, in this fifth wheel segment for years, there was that dreaded 9 or 10 inch big step up around the bed. Now, they haven't eliminated it totally, but I've noticed that both Cougar and the Eagle in this product segment have really minimized that to like 3 to 3.5 inches. So is there a little toe kick there? Yeah. Is it that big you're gonna, kill yourself on it and step down and roll an ankle from what it used to be? No, it's not. Now, this is a 60 by 80 queen bed, and there is easy lift storage below it, which is just the perfect place to put those little hideaway guest chairs. One other thing I want to kind of point out is up here, the lights above the bed are dual element. If you tap it once, you'll actually get a blue. If you hold it, you get the bright white like we're looking at here. Once again, that blue, with all the lighter accents here, it really opens this up. Now, you know what, actually, let's take a second to open everything up and look at all the storage in here. In addition to the easy lift storage below the bed, you see you've got these 2 side stands that are very CPAP friendly. And notice how they radius all the edges and corners here so that you don't roll over in the night and get that nice sharp jab to the shoulder. Now, the nose cap of this Eagle HT, it kind of precludes the traditional hanging closets that you normally find on the corners. These are just sort of like extra bonus shelves here where you can stack up some t-shirts or whatever. However, the bulk of your storage is going to be located over here in the slide out. One thing they do is they start with a big full extension plywood drawer. You can see you've got more of that sealed edge countertop stuff here under a breeze through window, and that is one of those things that Eagle was one of the very first to offer across the board. A lot of times when you get a closet slide out in a fifth wheel, you will lose that cross breeze window. Eagle made sure it stayed there. It helps make the bedroom look and feel a little bit bigger. And then you can kind of see how the storage here in the slide out, this is going to be the bulk of your hanging storage, which is actually greater in total cubic foot of capacity than 2 side closets could be or would be. And that does extend through the bathroom there. And just to give you an idea of like how tall, how short that is, essentially, I wanted to kind of back up and pan around for you a little bit here. Now, you do have TV hookups directly across from the bed as well. So if you choose to hook up some nighttime entertainment, this one is all set and ready to do so. Once again, just to mention a couple of visual differences you can pick up on this that might be different from what we have here at Haylet RV. This was optioned to include frameless windows, which is typically how we seem to equip most of our Eagle HTs here at Haylet's. But remember, up top you can see that second air conditioner, which is not a standard piece of equipment. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but I can't tell you how many times I have gone out of my way to tell people the video might not match the one that's in stock, and they show up and they say, well, that's not what I saw in the video. So I have to repeat myself 1,000 times to avoid that conversation. So pardon me. Anyway. Remember, actually, you're going to see when we're on the roof, because I sometimes record these segments out of order, you'll actually see the power awning open on this from the top, and you get to see how fast it moves, which is kind of cool. Now over here, We've got easy slam latch doors, and one of the things I like to talk about quite a bit is that Eagle is smarter. And here's a couple instances. Like, you've got an entry door here that is friction hinged, and those are adjustable hinges. A lot of people don't know that. There's actually little set screws on the top and bottom of the hinge, like down there, that you can ease that off or tension that up if it's too hard or too soft to open. Now, you've also got the little screenshot band here that'll just pull your screen door closed for you. And another neat little thing, it's funny, I didn't realize this wasn't really common knowledge for a long time, is like this is a nice little paddle to kind of open the screen door here without, you know, needing to slide the panel. But another thing you could do, open it, push it all the way down, flip it over, and now you've locked the screen door, which is very handy if you've got some grandkids or some littles running around and you don't want them bouncing outside. The stiffer aluminum plank steps here, they're less slippery when wet, which is always a beneficial thing. And there's actually a very cool light underneath that, and I love that they give you the light switch out here instead of inside. Because if you need to see in the dark to get on the steps, you need to see it from the outside. Like I said, smarter. Here's another smart feature, having speakers outside down low in the skirting so that, one, you can hear them, and two, they're not cutting a giant hole through the side of your camper and blowing away the neighbors. Man, I am sorry. So, we do have a full hot-cold outside utility shower on the other side. However, here you've got a simple little cold water sprayer port, almost with one of these quick, almost like quick release, almost air hose style connections. And there's a little coil hose that's included with this. It's under the bed. I probably should have hooked it up. Anyway, you know what? Let's do it. Because if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. That's generally the way we try to go about things here at Haylet RV. So this is included with the camper. You don't have to like buy this out of my parts store or anything. I'm not trying to jimmy some extra money out of you. This little handy little blue coily hose here is great for little campsite cleanups. But what's neat, and this is another extra thing Jayco does, they include a little sprayer handle for it where most brands don't. That's another little thing you don't even consider. Now, what's also neat is that's a residential fitting, that brass part right there. So if you do have a little bit nicer, like one of those like 5 spray pattern hoses, you can hook that right up in here. Now, down below, you can see we do have simple TV hookups. We have motion sense lighting, not just here, but also over there. And that's another one of those Eagle is smarter things, because you use both sides of the pass-through compartment. So why in most brands is there only lighting over here? The answer is it's a little less expensive to do it that way. That's truly the reason. Now, they're using the same heavy-duty, almost rubberized diamond plate flooring here that you'll find in the garage of a like Jayco seismic fifth wheel toy hauler. And then right here is another one of those areas where Eagle went beyond, and they went very extra, you know. So you can see that, like, you can't see any raw exposed construction. You see that double-sided thermofoil, and I stress double-sided because Jayco doesn't use the single-layer hot dog paper. I refer to that not to be derogatory, because there's nothing wrong with it, but simply to give you a visual reference that you're more accustomed to understanding. This stuff works better. Now, they don't just put it in the underbelly. They put it in the underbelly. They have a fully insulated upper deck with this stuff, and it goes all the way across the gooseneck. It's insulated above the pin box, wraps up through the nose cap, around the roof. It's in the slide floors. So there are more layers of insulation here and protection and thermal barriers than anything else in this category. And I don't care what made up false R52, R40 roof insulation package story somebody has fabricated. There is no one in this class that is achieving better cold camp ratings than Jayco. The Eagle HT is the best cold camp rated thing, or hot camp rated as it were, in their class and category. Now, up front here, one of the options you can apply to this, and we will typically put this on our RVs here at Haylet's, is the MORryde Orbital Pin Box. So right now it's in fixed mode, but this gives you the benefits of both the shock dampening pin box and the pivoting pin box for short bed pickups. So this gives you the best of both worlds instead of having to decide one or the other. And it is far cheaper than getting like a slider hitch put in the bed of your truck. You know, you can save at least a cold grand this way, if not more. Now up front here, this is the standard front end. You can get the Eagle Dry Camp package, and what that'll do is it'll make this kind of generator ready and add an additional 30-pound propane tank. But this is the standard front end arrangement we're typically going to find on HTs here in the Midwest, but they are all going to be ready for 4 batteries. Now, we have a simple side mount solar prep here, but you'll also find roof solar prep when we go upstairs, and we are going to climb around on the roof. Now, here's another thing I love to talk about. Jayco doesn't have to break their fiberglass because they're not planning on the fifth wheel breaking down during a reasonable period of ownership, you know, 12 to 15 years, say. A lot of brands you look at, there's a vertical crack in the fiberglass right here. You don't see that in the Eagle series because they use a thicker box tube steel upper frame with little sidewall flanges, so the upper deck sidewall is supported just like the outriggers in the lower deck. Pardon me again. We've got power front leveling with power rear stabilizer jacks. That's typically how you're going to find fifth wheels in this category. Auto leveling is available. Most people in this budget range and size range don't opt for that. Can we get one for you? Sure, just like we got one with a second air conditioner on it in this one. Now, this is one of the very few times I've ever seen someone not put the SantaCon feature on a Jayco Eagle fifth wheel. SantaCon, there'd normally be a little box right here, and what it does is it can empty your holding tank twice as fast with a power macerator, and basically has all your sewer hose stuff and handle built right in. You don't need exterior hoses, although you can for like an extension. Simple little cable and electrical docking station. That's where your full outside shower is going to be located. And once again, smarter. Notice that there's not a cheap plastic holdback holding this door open at a near perpendicular, almost 90-degree angle under that bed slide. Because if it was, that plastic holdback would break over time. They strut the doors to make sure that's not going to be the case. Now the tires here. This is another best-in-class feature. So standard Eagle HTs have 15-inch tires, and they will always be Goodyear Endurance radials, rated for up to 87 miles per hour on an American source tire, not from, you know, overseas. That is a best-in-class feature. However, Eagle HTs do two things for you that shockingly almost no other brands do. They, first of all, give you an option on the, quote, small class fifth wheel to put bigger 16-inch tires on these, which helps dissipate some heat and give you a little more road reliability, plus it can improve your ground clearance. The other thing they do is these have adjustable suspension hangers right there. That simple little hole right there where you can adjust where the leaf springs are going to hook up. That's all it takes to make this thing up to 1-ton dually capable. With the bigger tires and the extra 2 inches that you can gain off that, it makes a world of difference. So this trailer was literally delivered on a 1-ton dually, and it rode flat instead of being angled back and wearing out the rear axle, as is usually the case in most fifth wheels in this category when they're shipped around. Now, again, frameless windows give you that nice sleek look, but your slide sides are going to have framed sliding windows, because if you left a frameless window open and close the slide, you'd bust it, and that's a bad day at the office. These are always going to be backup camera ready, so whether you're looking for an observation or backup only model, the difference being you get what you pay for kind of situation, these can take care of you. But we have those cameras in stock on the shelf all the time at Haylet RV, and we can do them aftermarket here for the same price you could get one from the factory. Now, this is a big deal. There's a lot of these guys talk about their 3-year structural warranties. Typically, those are things that don't fail. Jayco's have a full 2-year bumper to hitch warranty that actually covers more things with more coverage for longer, because there's only a 1-year or 2-year RV warranty, and not all 3-year structural coverages are created equal. Another thing that's neat here, so first of all, you see that this has a receiver hitch on the back, so if you do want to add a bike rack, you can do so on this without voiding your warranty. A lot of people don't tell you about that. So how good is a 3-year structural warranty if you void it the moment you put a bike on the back? The second thing is, this is not even just an accessory hitch. This is a best-in-class towing hitch. Jayco was the first in this category to standardize having a 3,000-pound with a 300-pound tongue limit rear towing hitch on these. Now, actually, Big Brother Eagle has an accessory hitch, not a towing hitch, which seems backwards, but you have to remember big Eagles are longer, and towing behind them can be length problematic in most states. Now, not only do you have a towing hitch, it also has hookups for safety chains, and it has 4-way flat wiring for the little trailers that you might put behind you. Another thing that's very cool, and it's where I kind of started getting the idea that Eagles are smarter, is the lighting system. So if we take a look, you see the Eagle Smart Lighting Package. Basically, guys, if you flip on your turn signal, all of your associated side marker lights and your overhead clearance lights on that side of the RV, front and rear, will blink along with the signals to give other people better, safer understanding of your intentions on the road. It's not complicated. But why is Jayco the only one doing it? They've spent more money there. It's something that you can't see. Have you noticed a trend? They spend a lot of money where you can't see it. Because the point is not just to wow you with what you can see, but to surround you with something that will last and take care of you. Ah, man. I cannot wait to get over this crap. So, Last year, this was not here. You did not have this little outside kitchenette. And this is basically the exact same outside kitchenette they've already successfully been using in the 29.5 BHDS bunkhouse outside kitchen Eagle HT. So this is proven setup. You've got the galvanized, weather-resistant countertops here. So, they're not going to be exposed to weather. You've got the nicer, hotter-burning Capital Grill. You have the barley poppinator right here, technical term. Now, something we didn't talk about, there's a matching one of these mounts inside on the kitchen island. This is a USB charging port, basically, is what most people are going to use it for. However, if you feel like hopping on Amazon, I think for like $100, which felt steep to me, because I think I can get a cheaper Bluetooth speaker somewhere else. You can get a Bluetooth speaker that mounts on here, and it can float inside and outside. And those are going to start being found all over the place in the industry, I think. Now, we've also got Dad's medicine cabinet to keep the barley pop and the bottled water here. So, not only do you have an 8 cubic foot fridge inside, but you've got a 2+-ish out here. So, you've got about 10 cubic foot plus of cold storage in this one. Now, up here, you can see that we just have general shelving. But if we look inside, you can also see TV hookups. So what you can do is you can kind of, if you want to, you could put like a rear brace back here, and you could mount a TV up in this area for a full outside kitchen and outside entertainment situation, which is, I don't know, I think just pretty darn cool in something like this. So once again, if you don't care about the outside kitchen, I think you'll like the 30.5 CKTS. If you like the outside kitchen, this thing is you're gonna love it. It just rocks. Kind of a cool opportunity, actually. We're checking in the camper from the delivery driver currently, and you can see the speed at which that awning moves. Jayco does use higher grade fixtures, motors on things. They don't use, like if there's a 3000, 6000, 9000 series, they'll use the higher grade 9000 series on things, and that's a perfect example right there. That's something that you can't see from a picture. If you open a brochure, that camper, power awning, power awning, power awning, power awning, power awning. But it doesn't tell you the grade. It doesn't tell you the speed, the torque, or anything like that. Nobody publishes anything like that. Partially because parts can change so frequently, but this is one of those things that Jayco does with consistency, pretty much across their brands. Even a little J-Flight tends to have better things on it. So anyway, that was just an interesting little happenstance while I climbed up here. One of the things I want to mention first and foremost, once again, this is not this is definitely not going to be exactly like the 28.5 RSTS that we have in stock every day here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. For instance, typically in this size of fifth wheel, we find most people don't need to add a second 15,000 BTU air conditioner. I will tell you, if you're going to get it, getting it from the factory level is by far the least expensive way to get it. The biggest reason I'm up here is I want to talk about some construction aspects and some neat features up here. I want to point out some things that not only is this side mount solar ready, but we're also roof solar ready. And the 28.5 is a good solar model because we've got a very nice chunk of real estate right here to utilize all of that. A couple other little things up front. We do not have to crank the antenna up and down, only turn it the direction you want for better signal. We've got a fan that is basically protected from the rain so that you can kick that thing on even when it's raining, and you're not going to get back feet of rain through that. And then the little 360 siphon cap right there, basically what that guy's doing is it will, it's like an inverted airplane wing, and it gives you better air flow and function coming out of the black tank of your RV so that you have no backflow of odors from the toilet up through. And then once again, there is that option for a second air conditioner here, as you see, with 50 amp service. Now we are walking on a very uncommon thing, and you can't really see it is the problem, and that is tongue and groove plywood roof decking. That's one of the two major reasons that this has the heaviest load rating of any other fifth wheel roof in the business, really. So, there's plenty of other good things here. There's nothing, well, the open range actually is nearly identical. They just don't talk about it for some reason. Maybe it doesn't make the Jayco guys happy, I'm not sure. But there's nothing wrong with that Cougar roof. It's rated for like, I don't know, 2,800, 3,200 pounds, something like that. This is rated for like 4,800 pounds. And this is the same roof construction methodology you'll find in North Point, Pinnacle, Seismic fifth wheels. The guys that are even bigger than Eagle, they still do that here. Well, it's cool because this is the same construction you find all the way down through a base level J-Flight SLX. This is how Jayco does their roofs. They are built heavier. They're built a little more expensive. They spend more money on their roofing. But if you think about it, guys, if you take the top off a shoebox, it's very easy to twist it. But you put a good solid fixed lid on top of a shoebox, and suddenly the shoebox quits twisting. That's not terribly dissimilar from how you can think of an RV going down the road. So things like that matter. So in Eagle HT, we've got our 1.5 inch, laminated sidewalls with the aluminum framing, and the fully laminated slide boxes that I'm walking over top of right now. Your slide exterior wall and sidewalls are all going to be laminated. The flooring on this is going to be 5/8 tongue and groove plywood with a 2x3 aluminum stud every 12 inches on center running this way. So it's the same heavy-duty floor construction, and once again, that you see in Big Brother, North Point, Pinnacle, etc. This is a small trailer built with a heavy structure for long-term use and ownership. If you're looking for the last fifth wheel you want to purchase, it can definitely qualify. It's built for that sort of application. It's just built smaller. So short of that, you can kind of see we've got a big place here. We've got 20 acres, and we do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV deliveries, and everything in between, except for hidden fees. We don't do those. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in today.